Picture this. You're collecting Magic the Gathering cards, you're showing off your latest cards to all of your friends on YouTube, when all of a sudden... Alright, so obviously a lot of that is embellishment and a lot of it is fantasy, but some of it actually did happen. So I'm an old school gamer. I grew up with Dungeons and Dragons, been playing it since like the mid 80s. For us, it was a great way to just bring people together and, laugh and tell stories, and it was a game and we just had fun with it. Today, Magic the Gathering is worth about $1.1 billion a year. I think that's what they collected in 2022. So there's big money involved in this trading card game. No, I don't play it, by the way. I've never actually played it. I don't know anything about Magic the Gathering. I've seen people play it. It looks fine. It's a game. It's trading cards.
Wow, this is garbage.
I never would have imagined that it was worth so much, or that the rules for the game were so serious. Now, part of the joy of this game, I imagine, just like with any other trading card game, is getting to show off your cool cards that you've got that nobody else has, your rare ones. Such as with Old School MTG. Now, this guy's got a YouTube channel where he opens up cards and boxes and he goes through them all and he shows off all the rare ones and how excited he is to have these cards. I guess they're worth money. I really don't know. I imagine he plays them. Are you allowed to actually touch the cards like with your hands? Are you supposed to treat them like baseball cards where you're not actually supposed to touch them? Or again, I don't play this game. I don't know what the rules are. I have no idea how any of this stuff works. Anyway, he ordered a box of cards. They showed up, and I guess the name is very similar to a different box collection from the same company, and those hadn't come out yet. So they weren't available to the public. He got them early. It was a complete accident, but he just kind of went with it and was like, cool, I've got these cards that no one else has seen yet. Let's open them up on YouTube and check this out.
Big mistake!
And that's when Wizards of the Coast, the company that owns Magic the Gathering, sent over a team of private security agents.
What is happening?
So Pinkerton is a private security company. They've been around since the 1800s. They are a private security firm. They are not the police. They don't actually have any policing power any more than, making a citizen's arrest. So I guess they're kind of like up there with Dog the Bounty Hunter. Wizards of the Coast sent Pinkerton over to this guy's house to demand the cards be returned. And they used, typical private security agency tactics, which is the only thing they really have at their disposal, which is intimidation and fear. So they bang on the door of all the neighbors, they threatened him with lawsuits and money and jail time if he did not open the door and let them in and give them all of the cards that he had. And they actually took time to count all of the cards to make sure they had them all.
Bruh, chill.
Here's his YouTube channel, and I just kind of wanted to go through this. He took down all of the videos of the cards themselves, so we don't get to see those. I know you're really bummed out. I'm totally bummed out too. But he does go over some of the details of what happened that day.
I'm not going to do any openings right now. I just wanted to update some people on some news that I just found out a few seconds ago. About the whole situation with the Pinkertons coming to my house. We went outside to do a couple things, and one of our neighbors came over, and come to find out, apparently Friday when the Pinkertons showed up here and we weren't home, they decided to take it upon themselves to go knocking door to door on our neighbors' freaking houses and harass our 70 and 80-year-old ladies next door, asking information about us, saying that they had an appointment with us that we were supposed to be here for and we didn't show up.
Like, what did that actually look like? Did they actually go to the neighbors and bang on the door when they showed up? Where's the nerd that lives next door? We need to collect his Pokemon cards or whatever.
Trying to kind of grill them for some information about us. And that is just way over the line. I mean, this whole thing's been over the line, but that is, come on. I mean, you're harassing my elderly neighbors too.
Sudden pain right there. So really, you think that was crossing the line? So sending these former government agents who now work for a private security firm to come smacking on people's doors and screaming at you through windows to collect your Magic the Gathering cards. That was crossing the line. You've gone too far when you start bugging my elderly neighbors. I do give it to him for keeping his composure through all of this, because I clearly would have lost my shit, and I can't imagine what Mike would have done, but it would have been like whatever my reaction was, his would have been just 10 times beyond that.
I'm not sure what my next move is going to be, and I don't want to talk about any specifics or anything like that, but harassing your neighbors, come on. This, if Wizards had just called me or emailed me, we could have handled this totally civilly. I would have cooperated.
That's the part that gets me the most, I think, is they didn't even call him or send a letter, or they didn't notify a lawyer and have the lawyer send a letter. No, they went straight to
Execute Order 66.
I mean, they basically sent G.I. Joe over cards. Children's playing cards. Yeah, okay, I get it. It's worth a lot of money, and a lot of adults play it. Fine. But at the end of the day, this is a kid's game. It's made for children to play in a fantasy game. All right, it's right up there with Dungeons and Dragons and all those other games. And I know we take some of our games seriously. I've watched competitive games and esports. Yeah, we take some of our games seriously. Sure, it's still a game. Still a game.
They did not need to send these, Pinkertons to my house, and they definitely didn't need to go to my neighbors' houses and try and grill them for information.
It'd be like if you got your cards from a loan shark and you send over somebody to, Jimmy's gonna bust your kneecaps if you don't return them cards.
Anyways, a little rant here. Just wanted to give people an update of some news that I just found out. I can't believe they took it that far. I really can't. To this point, I've been able to keep my composure pretty well, considering all things, but,
keeps his composure a lot better than I would have.
Right now, I'm sure everybody can understand why. It's a card game. They sent,
Okay, so now we know it's not just me. He said it. It's a card game, people. It's a card game. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's a card game.
Yeah, they're so stupid!
The definition of an overreaction.
Specific adjectives that I'd like to use in this scenario, but
it's okay. I'll go ahead and use those adjectives for you.
God damn you! Asshole! Son of a bitch!
Never seen anyone that pissed off before.
And I don't even know who I'm referring to, if I'm referring to the enforcers that they sent or the actual company themselves. Having these guerrillas show up, I'm sure they probably showed up dressed like the Men in Black, terrorizing your entire neighborhood, your neighbors, your home. Yeah, that is definitely a step too far. But don't forget, Wizards of the Coast themselves sent these people. He's got another video where he talks about how he got in touch with someone at Wizards and how this guy was really nice and they had a polite and wonderful conversation and yada yada. And I swear it almost sounds like he's got a gun to his head the whole time that he's talking. And I also get that Mr. Old School here, he's upset at Pinkerton for what they did, for terrifying and harassing him, his wife, his family, his neighborhoods. And he seems strangely forgiving of Wizards of the Coast for sending these people in the first place, especially when all they had to do was pick up the phone and just make a phone call and say, hey, you're not supposed to have those yet. Maybe put them under your bed for a week until we actually release them, and then you can have them, instead of sending loan sharks to come bust your kneecaps and take them from you. It's definitely the part that I don't understand, is these people showed up and it wasn't like they told him, hey, you got to take your videos down. We don't want people seeing these cards yet. No. We are going to take all of these cards away from you. You can't have them.
Look what they did to me. My legs are useless now. Trust me, they'll be back.
And then they're going to release them to the public, a few weeks later, a month later, or whatever it is, and then you can buy them just fine? I don't know. I don't get it. Apparently, the world of trading card games is much more ruthless and cutthroat than I realize. I know a lot of people have left Dungeons & Dragons because of Wizards of the Coast, and a lot of people don't like that company for a lot of the choices that they've made. They feel that the company is very greedy. They made some changes, or they tried to make some changes to their open source license, and that did not go over well. And this just seems like one more thing to add onto the pile of grievances and things that fans or former fans can just pile onto. And yeah, this does not look good for them. I want to hear your thoughts on all of this, so make sure you leave some comments down below. When you go into a store to purchase Magic the Gathering cards, is there like a whole process that I'm not aware of? Like trying to purchase a gun? Like, is it the same kind of thing? They're going to do like a background check on you before you can actually purchase these cards? Like, what's going on here with these cards? Enlighten me. Also do that whole like, subscribe, all that bullshit. You know, we love you for it, and we'll see you in another episode.